Okay, so this project involved removing the old pump flush heads, putting in electric flush heads, as well as removing and replacing the holding tanks, which were out of the factory, were aluminum. And we found a place in California that made leopard spec tanks out of plastic. So we ordered those and did a remove and replace. As you can see from the diagram, I sketched out a way that we could attach both heads to one of the water tank, one of the 103-gallon water tanks, and use that for freshwater flush once we got all of this complete. The only thing missing from this diagram is the valves that I had to put into the system down by the heads to turn on and off the water, since both heads are below the level of the water tank. The good news about that was it decreases the potential for bacteria to flow back up into the tank. And we wanted to be able to use that tank as an emergency water source if we needed to. So here we go.
So this is the water pump. These two lines here are coming from the water tanks. As you can see, this one's closed off right now. We're only coming off of this tank here. This is going to be the tank that we use for the freshwater flush. And you can see both of these go up to the pump that then goes out to the boat freshwater system. So what I've done is I've cut this line already that comes from the tank, and this is where I'll put that T in and tee off towards the two heads, as well as then a valve that we could use if we do need to revert back to this tank. And if you stick with me here, you'll see on the starboard side of the boat, which is where we're going to start, I've prepared this. Here's the through hole right here that feeds both the generator, which is on right now as you can see, and also would feed the toilet if we were to be using seawater. But I have that off, as you can see. Back here is the line that I have separated. That was coming off the through hole line. I will plug this line, and in this line is what will convert from the 3/4 to the 1/2 inch. That will then go into this white line that goes into the head area, comes through here, as you can see, goes up inside the where we put the holding tank, goes through an anti-siphon device, and then comes back to the head itself, to the pump, which is right here. So we shall see how this works. So here are the pieces and parts that we're going to be putting together to make this work, as well as the 30 feet of line that's going to run off that T to both sides of the boat to the head pumps. So here's the initial setup, at least with the valve and the fittings. So this is coming from the water tank. This is what will go through if I want to continue to use water from that tank. This is going to go to the starboard head. This is going to go to the port head. So now what I'm doing is I'm running this water line over the AC, back down the side of the boat, and out down there. I'm not sure if it can be seen, but down there to where it comes out, right down there. And then we'll make the fitting work. It comes through here. You can see it coming out right there. I'll just pull that down, pull it out down there, and then fit it into that hose. More to follow. The end of the project. We neatened it up a little bit in here, but here obviously is the new fittings. This coming straight from the starboard tank, this going to the port head flush, this going to the starboard head flush, and then this we will open if we need to use water from the starboard freshwater tank, but it will always remain closed otherwise. Had to drill a hole through the wall there to get over to the port side head and run it on the other side of the AC and down over the edge. But check this out. Here we go. Put some light on the situation. There we go. So, all of the lines are connected now. The line from the pump out deck fitting is there. And down here we have the overboard line, we have the toilet in line, and we have the vent line. And I think, like I said last time, the heating them worked, but I couldn't get the vent line to work on either head, regardless of how much I heated it and soaked it. It just wouldn't go on. So I went to the store and bought me 1.5 inch line, which is what it's supposed to be. This was what I had initially, and this is what I ended up with from a different store. Let me see if I can get the two of them together, and you will see that there's a very slight difference between the two. Just enough to make it correct, as you can see. So that's the difference based upon the make of the hose, I guess, and where you buy it. This is the one here that worked. This is the one that didn't. So lesson learned. Okay, everything's hooked up. So now we're going to turn on the water pump, and we're going to try flushing the electric heads, and we're going to make sure that the holding tanks are tight on all the fittings. More to follow. All right, so now we're going to give it a whirl. The first thing we're going to do is try. You pointing it? Where are you pointing it? First thing to do is we're going to take the shower head. We're going to turn on the water. We're going to fill the bowl. And then we're going to try to flush it. Maybe.
Sorry if it was wiggling. I was laughing.
Here we go. Okay. Let's make sure we don't get any leakage. And here's the water level here, so we know it is getting into the tank right here.
And there's no leaks.
And I don't see any leaks. Nope.
No leaks in the overboard lines?
None in the overboard line on this side. Now we're going
It's gone. That's a wrap.
and that is a wrap.